Welcome.
Hey.
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 Hey, you guys. It's Bruce and Connie from the Unlocking the Magic podcast.
Hello.
Hello. Hey, you guys.
Hello.
I want to say hey, you guys. Like, I want to shout it because Goonies is on tonight, and I was watching it just before we went live.
You were watching it right before we went live. That's
I
funny.
love that movie. Anyway, so hi, you guys. Welcome to our live show.
What's going on?
What's going on? It's going to be sort of like a recap today of our latest podcast. We're going to talk a little bit about Pandora. Why were we the last podcasters to visit? I'm going to give you the 411 on that. Our thoughts on the land itself, and what else? News.
Whoa, that's loud.
Loud.
We were the last ones to visit. Pretty
Yes.
sure.
We
So.
kind of joked about that, but it's true.
I feel like it was good that we were the last ones to visit, though, because we
It
got
was
to
strategy.
see a good amount of it, you know?
All in strategy.
Yeah, I like that. I like that we waited a while.
We did wait a while. And we're going to talk a little news. There's some news happening, some old news and some new news. I don't know.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Old news and new news.
Whatever.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Good.
So, welcome.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show.
What did you think about Pandora? We talked about that on the show today. So we just got back from a trip not too long ago. A couple weeks actually now. The time goes by so quick after you get off of these shows. But what did you think of our overall experience on our last trip?
So, I think 2 thumbs up. I think I had low expectations because it was a holiday, but I want to tell everybody, don't worry about when you're going and crowd levels. Like, just go and have a good time.
Yeah, the crowd levels weren't bad at all.
You know what? I think that there's so many outlets now with information on when is the best time to visit, when is the light crowd, light crowds, moderate crowds. You could just go crazy. Go whenever works best for you. Keep an open mind and just have fun.
So you're saying don't listen to the people who tell you to go at certain times and just kind of go whenever you
I'm
can.
kind of saying that, although I've never been on Christmas Day, which I've heard is insane. So, I don't know. That might be the only time where I personally might avoid it, just because, with the big guy, he doesn't do that well with crowds, but...
Yeah, there's probably certain days like New Year's Eve, New Year's Day,
Yeah.
Christmas, Thanksgiving Day, where you can expect it to be packed. But it's pretty busy all the time.
It is busy all the time. And you know what? I think that some of these sites, it's like old news because they tell you when not to go, when to go. And I feel like people are doing the opposite. Like, oh, we shouldn't go on Thanksgiving week. And that might be why it wasn't that crowded for us.
Interesting.
It's my theory.
Hit the like button if you're watching this now. Share it out to your friends. Maybe they can join us and talk a little bit of Disney, a little Pandora, and a little bit of the Christmas party, which I still can't get over.
We're still talking about that?
I am.
Oh, okay.
I loved it.
Speaking of old news,
Why is that old news?
just kidding. I feel like we've gone over that like multiple times, but it's fine.
It's still
You're still
happening.
excited about it. I'm still excited about it.
Yeah.
Ready? Here we go.
Chelsea says she agrees that the week after Thanksgiving was so packed.
Hi, Chelsea. First, I want to say hello to you guys.
Oh yeah, we should say hi to
Yeah,
everybody.
that would be good. But yeah, I know. So I remember you had said that, and I think that it's like, I don't know. There's just too many sites nowadays with too much information.
I don't know if there's any
strategy.
more or less information out there. What I think is,
Yeah.
let me finish, is that the information is way more readily available than it used to be.
I just want to be right.
Yeah.
So we can just end it there. I'm just kidding. Oh my gosh, I'm just kidding.
The information is easily available.
Right.
Whereas before you had to go to the library, you had to read about it. It was a little bit, the barrier to entry was less.
Plus, by the time a book came out, it could be wrong. You know what I mean? Like
True.
now, it's just like up to date. There are people living down there. No, I'm not jealous. That are reporting daily. So it's there's a lot of that happening too.
True. There's so much but I just think you should just go whenever you can. Obviously, those holiday days are going to be busy, but
It's what you make of it.
when did we go? We went on a
We've gone
non-busy day, and it was
Right.
packed.
Yeah, exactly. So, are you going to say hello? Let me say hello.
Say hello.
Okay. Audrey, Dan, Chris, Megan, Chelsea, we said hi. Wait, I can't. You have to do the rest.
Oh, Megan, who'd you say? Chris.
Steven. Okay.
If you're new to the show,
Sorry.
say hello in the comments and
that?
type in where you're from. If you're not new to the show, just say hello again and, type in where you're from.
I try to take over and then it's a major fail.
Well, it's kind of... Facebook changed on Facebook Live on the desktop, so
Yeah.
On the screen, you see one comment kind of going back and forth.
Yeah.
And on the desktop, you can see a bunch, but it's like the whole screen now.
You see a bunch of stuff?
You can see a bunch of stuff.
Okay, sorry.
But
that wasn't that funny, but I made it funny.
It's like almost like how the park adjusts the time crowd control. Maybe the sites are controlling the crowd flow their own so they can go for holidays. Maybe, you're right. I am convinced that they send you in certain areas based on how busy it is, so maybe that's true. And you see that because you used to get free dining or the discounts on a larger period of time, and now it's like so narrowed or so specific that it's much different than it used to be.
And you have to get certain things like the park hopper, which I think is smart because if it's going to be busier and you do have the park hopper, I know, I'm going to say it, it's good to have because then you can kind of hop around and see what park would you rather.
I still don't know if the park hopper is necessary. I think the Hollywood Studios is definitely a park hopper day now.
It is. I know.
Sad enough, because even if you've never been there, right now, for the next few months at least.
I don't know about that.
There's not a ton going on.
If you've never been there, I feel like there is enough to make it a full day, especially if you eat there, which I highly recommend eating at one of the sit-downs.
Changing my mind on that one.
Don't forget, we went twice. And this was the third time in this year, which...
Maybe if you've never been there before.
That's what I'm saying.
But even if you've never been there before, if you have fast passes for a couple of those rides, unless you want to wait couple hours for.
I don't know. I think the park the park generally closes at 8 p.m. So I feel like if you're there at 9 to 8, you eat dinner there, especially that's an hour at least, an hour and a half.
Maybe.
All right. Wow. I just want to be right all the time.
I know you do.
What's wrong with that?
Howdy, Rick.
Howdy, Rick.
Rick, did you do your homework? I want to see if Rick did his homework.
We've given him multiple opportunities. It's
I know.
Really
I'm kind of like, you know what? I think I'm going to write him off.
That's getting old news. That's speaking of old news.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's talk about Pandora a little bit.
Okay.
And why we were the last ones to visit. We were certainly the last podcasters.
We were.
And Disney Media to
my arm right here.
To visit and experience the land. It was kind of getting embarrassing for a while there. No, I'm just kidding.
I think we strategized pretty well.
Yeah.
We went and we got to experience it. We got a fast pass. Obviously, the lines didn't go down at all in the last few months.
No.
But the hype was kind of over. And we got a chance to let everybody else talk about it. It calmed down.
Oh.
And then we get to talk about it again.
I thought you meant the hype in the park, because the hype in the park was pretty intense. But
I don't mean that. I mean like
the other outlets.
News media haven't talked about Pandora for a while.
Yeah, that's right.
You know?
Right.
So it gave us an opportunity for it to like get hype. Everybody talked about it. It went away. We went, and then we're talking about it.
So we're like fashionably late.
Yeah, fashionably late. That's exactly it.
And also, I think that helped with experiencing it the way sort of like a regular visitor would experience it. Don't you agree? Because opening day, you're definitely going to get a different vibe, I think. I mean, you'll be able to get the overall gist of it.
I wonder if it's like a restaurant. Like, you'd never visit a restaurant the first 2 or 3 months it's open.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Because of all these, like...
I mean, you can,
issues,
but your
like
experience isn't exactly the same as it's going to be once everybody's used to it and trained and every system is in place and it's going well and the employees are used to it and you've worked out the kinks. I wonder if the lands are just like that.
Even if it's not, I am going to use that as our reason.
Did you see anything wrong with Pandora?
Did I see anything wrong with Pandora?
Like, if you could go and, like, put your judgmental glasses on, what would you do different?
Do you have those?
No.
Oh.
What would you do?
You know what? I'm going to say nothing. I think it was pretty... I mean, other than the wait times, like, you know, obviously that was probably going to die down as time goes on, but maybe not, because it is, especially Flight of Passage, is a thrilling attraction, and there's nothing really other than Expedition Everest, maybe Dinosaur as thrilling in the Animal Kingdom. So maybe that will never die down. Maybe they could figure out how to streamline the times on that so it's not a 2-hour wait or whatever. But speaking of which, a good friend of ours, I know this today, tried to score fast passes for Flight of Passage. She's exactly 60 days out and still could not reserve any.
That's amazing.
I know. So it is kind of a luck of the draw too still.
Well, if you go, like, Mine Train opened a while ago, and that's still popular when we went.
Super popular. But then again, don't forget that that attraction can appeal to younger families with younger kids. It's one of the only roller coasters that really can allow, right? I mean, so
every roller coaster allows little kids.
That young, like that. Like you're not gonna bring a tiny kid to Space Mountain.
I'm gonna try.
I know you're gonna try.
I'm going to try.
I know you're going to try.
I tried it. When our daughter was 4 or 5, we tried to get on every one she could. Tippy toes. Tissues in the shoes.
Whatever it takes.
Yeah, it's a half an inch. I mean, I'm pretty sure she's not going to fall off for half an inch.
Oh, gosh. I really hope you guys aren't taking his advice too seriously here.
Listen, you should never, ever take my advice too seriously.
Never.
There's a lot of things you should take seriously, but not my advice.
So back to what I think, I don't know, I think my expectations were high. I think that they were met. I think that Pandora is a beautiful addition to Animal Kingdom. I think you guys are going to love it, those of you that haven't been. It's a great way to make Animal Kingdom now a full day park, whereas before it wasn't the case. I mean, I will remember before the podcasting days and before my whole philosophy days of kind of slowing down a little, I would go to Animal Kingdom for a few hours and want to leave. It's just because it was either hot, if for whatever reason that park is so extremely hot.
I don't know if it's the park's hot or we just happen to choose it on a really hot day.
It's just, I don't know, being in the tropics right there and in the jungle, it really makes you feel really hot. That said, I feel like now there's so much to do, even with just them keeping the park open late at night before Pandora, totally shifted the whole park atmosphere, and I think that it totally made it worth a full day, you know?
Yeah.
So, anyway.
I agree. I thought that it was...
say about that.
If I had one complaint about Pandora, it would probably be... Let me see here. The bathroom's not really easily accessible from the outside.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. I would say the...
Yeah.
It's tight. It's a little bit tight when you try to stop. Like when you're trying to walk around Pandora at night. During the day you can navigate it pretty easily. But at night, when you're moving over to where Flight of Passage is and the restaurant and the shop, getting through, every single person there wants to stop and take photos, right?
Not right. Sorry, Bruce. It's my first time.
So every single person there is stopping to take a photo, and then they have the carriage, and then they have the walkway, and you want to get the photo in front of the mountain. And it's a tight squeeze. I wish they would have made it a little bit wider for that.
Okay. Access for Bruce.
Well, anybody walking. Like, when you take a picture...
Yeah.
I understand, because I want to take pictures too, but it's hard to navigate while people are taking photos in those areas.
Who's taking pictures at night?
Everybody.
It's hard.
Were you there?
I mean, I was there, but you can't really take great pictures.
I don't know, but there was people taking pictures at night.
Okay. But I agree with you.
Yes.
How do you like that?
Thank you for agreeing with me.
You're welcome.
What did you think about the overall food, the overall attraction?
I think it was great. Bruce, thanks for asking. As we talked about on the show, I think that it's just definitely it has a cool futuristic vibe to it that I was not expecting at all, and I don't want to give too much away for those of you that are waiting.
Listen, give it away.
Well, I mean, look, a lot of people are waiting, and it's hard because I don't want to talk it up too much, and then you'd be disappointed, but I really was not expecting the whole alien planet type feel. Like, I didn't expect it to be sort of, I guess the only way I can describe it is sort of like futuristic from the food and everything. Like, maybe it's because you're actually wearing that exact shirt.
Yeah, I was wearing this thing.
that day. And we were harassing you because you were not supposed to wear a Star Wars shirt on the day we visited Animal Kingdom, but then our oldest kind of said, well, Dad, it works because Pandora is an alien planet.
Right.
So, it works.
You weren't expecting it to be fully immersive?
I did. I just didn't expect... I thought it would be more of the movie Pandora versus what was actually there was like an extension of the movie, which was awesome. And I think that's what they're planning with Star Wars Galaxy Edge, which again made me more excited about that particular...
I don't think other than Flight of Passage and like maybe the attractions, like when you walk through Pandora, there's like the movie doesn't come to mind.
Right.
You're just kind of walking through in awe.
Right.
Of what they did.
That's what I was excited about.
Yeah.
Okay, full disclosure, I'm not a huge fan of the movie.
I think we've mentioned that many times.
I know. I feel really bad because it's, there are a lot of people that are. I've never been that... Sorry.
It's all right.
I talk with my hands tonight. I'm sorry. I have never really been a huge fan of the movie, and I try to give it... It was good when it came out, but then, I try to watch it again. Of course, I brought the kids and whatever, and so I just kind of got an overall different feel. And so I loved what they did. I was not expecting that, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Okay.
I agree. I thought it was great. I thought you had to visit
Team Talk Too Much is done.
during the day and the night.
Yeah.
And I thought it was just as good during the day as it was at night.
It was.
Completely different. A little bit darker and harder to navigate at night than during the day.
I like how people told us to do both.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm glad we did.
Because a lot of you guys preferred it during the day. I think if I had really, really young kids, that's the only way I would do it during the day, because I can't imagine navigating a stroller in the dark.
Yeah, it's hard.
It's really hard. And just overall being able to know my surroundings.
It's a little bit tricky because you do want to visit it during the day and at night. And it's out of the way a little compared to where everything else is.
Yeah.
So if you want to go on certain things, maybe you have fast passes, there's a lot of walking in that park.
There's a lot of walking in that park in general.
Yeah, that is true.
So I think that's one of the
This
things
doesn't help it at all. If you want to go there during the day and the night.
Yeah, especially with complaining about earlier how it wasn't necessarily a full day park before, and now it is, and it's exhausting. I think the next day, I don't think we left our hotel room for half the day.
Yeah, I think it helped us that it got dark pretty early.
Yeah.
Like if you go there in June, it probably doesn't get dark till 9 o'clock, and everybody wants to go there at 9 o'clock for the last couple hours.
Good point, yeah.
So that's probably what it was like when it first opened, right? Because it was darker later.
Not even kidding. We needed a full day to recover after that.
It was a lot of walking.
It was a lot to do.
It was worth it, though. Flight of Passage was totally worth it.
It was totally worth it.
And then the food.
Yeah.
And those buns were pretty good. They were a little bit
that sounds weird.
Awkward in the beginning.
Yeah, okay.
But then once you bite into them or cut into them,
yep.
It tasted kind of like McDonald's cheeseburgers.
Yeah.
That's what the first thought that came to mind.
Okay.
And then the desserts were amazing. We had those. Those were pretty good. We actually tried all of them, I think. I think we did a live show from in there, but it was pretty dark.
We did a lot. And I think overall I just wanted to get the whole vibe of the land and just kind of understand it a little more, because at first I didn't understand why Disney was doing Pandora. I feel like that movie was so long ago, I just couldn't understand it. Now I understand it. It's definitely, like I said, an extension of the movie, and it has that going along the lines with the food and the whole atmosphere. It's really futuristic. I think Star Wars is going to be amazing.
Yeah, so I can't wait for that.
I think if anything, it just got me excited to what is next.
So Star Wars Land in Disneyland is going to open first.
I did not know that.
Are you going to have to go there first?
Of course I am. No, we're going to be fashionably late.
Or are you going to wait for the Star Wars Land to open in Disney World and then go to Star Wars Land?
All right, now I don't know. These are decisions, major decisions that we have to sit down and have family meeting.
Did you get the drink with the tapioca balls? No, we did not.
You wanted to.
I did, but I don't know.
Should have got everything. Why didn't we get everything?
I don't know why. We went there and it was, I think we already had eaten somewhere else.
I don't think we were really organized with the food, but we did. I
wanted to go and try it.
I remember eating it and I was already full.
Yeah.
And so that was hard, but yeah. No, it was overall though. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah, and I think we had fast passes, so we didn't have a ton of time.
Yeah.
And when you're in the park and we're not there as much as we would like to be, so when you don't have a sit-down reservation, you don't want to spend an hour and a half eating.
I mean, I do.
I know, but that's weird.
But you don't.
I don't. I like walking around and being mobile.
It's true.
I sit down, I eat, and 10 minutes when I'm done, I'm like, all right, let's go.
What's next?
Yeah, I want to go do something.
So for overall, really cool. I think, again, just an awesome place that I guess I just didn't expect it to be so massive and immersive either. So it was really cool.
Yeah.
But and Flight of Passage is definitely worth all the hype. In fact, I think we agree that even without fast passes, as a family, we agreed that we would have waited in line.
Have you ridden Flight of Passage? Yes or no? Drop it in the comments while we talk. I want to know who's ridden it or not. What would be your maximum wait time for that?
2 hours.
Do you know how long 2 hours is while you're waiting in line? What's the longest you've ever waited for an attraction?
I would say, if you're going way back from when I was little.
Ever.
Probably 2 hours.
Really?
Yeah.
2 hours back then, too, was much different than 2 hours now.
Exactly, so.
2 hours back then was 14 hours now.
No iPhone. No,
yeah, you had to actually talk to people.
No immersive queue. I mean, you were really on your own with your family. Oh, my poor parents.
What did you do?
Drove your parents crazy. Probably sat on the rope 1,000 times when we were told not to.
Wow, I could not imagine that. I think the longest that I've ever waited for an attraction was probably in Disneyland. We waited for...
Take all the time you need.
Yeah, but listen. I'm trying to think here.
Go ahead.
We waited for Space Mountain in Disneyland.
That was a long time.
And we probably waited about 90 minutes.
That was a long time, and it was really hot that day.
It was hot. It's outside, half of it.
The California sun.
I think that's the longest I've ever waited for an attraction. It was about 90 minutes.
It was burning right through us.
If I see 120 minutes, I'm immediately out. Like, there is not a chance my brain that I'm going to be like, let's go, get in line.
I'm out.
I'm immediately looking for something else.
Is that true?
Yeah, so 90 minutes has been my limit so far.
I think
with iPhones. It'd be less without.
That's true, too. It's funny because the kids, especially the youngest, doesn't understand time that well.
I think that if I was little and I went to Disney World with no iPhone, I would probably just ride Small World over and over and over again because it'd be like the shortest line. I would skip every other line that I saw, and I'd be like, nope.
I don't know, Bruce. I feel like my theory of waiting in line for an attraction that is thrilling is way different than waiting in line for an attraction that's not so thrilling.
The thing that Flight of Passage has going for it too is it's a pretty long ride.
It is.
Or at least it feels pretty long.
No, it is a long attraction for sure. For sure, there was a moment there where I was thinking, I actually had the thoughts of, wow, this is a lot longer than
you anticipated
or anything that I've ever... I don't know the exact time of how long it actually is, but it definitely feels like one of the longest Disney attractions that's out there, right?
I mean, I don't know, but it felt like it.
I felt like I had that thought. It crossed my mind.
I think maybe it was also that you've never been on it before,
That's
so you
true.
didn't know, like, for most attractions when the beginning, middle, and end is.
Yeah.
And you know when it's almost over, so even when it's almost over, it feels like it's over.
Taylor is late. Hello. You know what? I think it's weird because I feel like we're so the last ones at this party. Like, should we just move on? I feel like we're talking about Pandora 7 years later.
I'm not talking about Pandora. I'm talking about attraction length.
Okay,
wait
sorry.
times. Maybe you're talking about Pandora.
I feel like
you're not listening.
I was saying old news, and I feel like that's part of it.
Is there a height requirement? I forget what the height requirement was.
It must be because you know what?
Although you sit in the chair, it's probably the same as Soarin'.
Probably. You know what? I don't even know that. I should know the height requirement, and it's for some reason I didn't.
Yeah, but you know what? Once your kids are past the height requirement, you kind of forget about it.
That's what it is. Like I haven't.
Like
been
my kid's
looking.
tall enough. I don't need to worry about what the height requirement is.
I haven't been looking in a while.
She's pretty much can go on everything except the little mini boats.
What?
The little mini boats in the lake, in the Seven Seas Lagoon. She can't ride those.
The watercraft rentals. Yeah. The watercraft rentals. Okay, so I had no idea. But you have to be a certain height requirement you have to be a certain age and also meet a certain height requirement, even if you're...
like 40.
Even if you're an adult. If you don't... Like, what? That's so disappointing. I was so disappointed. Anyways, I'm moving on.
Vicky says, before Fast Passes, I would have waited. Now that we have Fast Passes, I won't wait more than 30 minutes for any ride. Fast Passes have spoiled me. Yeah, they do spoil you.
They do.
Like, iPhones spoil kids.
Yeah.
Fast Passes spoil you.
It's so hard.
Pretty soon, the lines for the regular lines for ordering food will be really short, and the lines that you've pre-ordered for will be really long.
I know.
You know, that's what I'm looking forward to. Skip the app and go right to the counter.
Skip it all.
Yeah, I want to talk to a human. Nobody talks to humans anymore.
It's hard though because even though, it's a mixture for me because even though I love Fast Passes, I mean, you really do get immersed in that story in the queue. And I hate sometimes rushing through queues. One in particular, I think my favorite queue other than Space Mountain, which has to be actually Space Mountain. I will say Space Mountain queue Disneyland beats Space Mountain queue Walt Disney World.
Depends. Like once you get in.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, inside. Outside, not so much.
Well, yeah. But I think Roger Rabbit.
That was pretty cool.
And I was so bummed. There's no wait line. There was no wait or line or whatever. And I'm just sitting there trying to go through it all. It happens to be Who Framed Roger Rabbit happens to be one of my all-time favorite. I know, I'm such a dork. All-time favorite movies. And so this attraction I was really excited about. The attraction itself is okay, but the queue leading up to it, super fun.
You know which attraction?
But so you don't get that. Yeah.
Felt like that? Mine Train, when we were at the Christmas party. Mine Train had no wait time, and like you walk through that, and yeah, the first part's just a lot of walking.
Right.
But once you get about halfway or a little bit more than halfway in, it becomes entertaining.
I know.
And then like
you get to mine for gems.
Yeah, you're like hitting the buttons, the water's coming out, and like 4 people walk by you.
I know.
You're like, wait a second.
Just, can you wait so I can play and then...
So maybe that's a little bit you want, like, that's where you want the line to stop.
Yeah.
That's probably about a 30 minute
30
wait.
minute? Okay.
And that's probably good.
Fair enough.
So that's my limit. Right when it starts to get fun,
but I mean,
till we get on the ride.
But they can't make it that immersive because what will happen is no one will move. Like I was saying that to the kids. Wow, I wish there was some kind of bench seating. Like where were we that there were stones and you can kind of sit every once in a while. It could have been Expedition Everest. Like right before you get inside, there's some areas with flat stones and you can kind of sit. I said, if they made these available, no one would ever move. At least I wouldn't. Probably wouldn't be able to get back up.
Haunted Mansion's a little like that too. Once you get to like the windy part,
where you can touch you want to play.
Yeah, you want to play with the music. You want to like look at the tombstones. You want to take a picture.
I do want to.
But everybody else behind you is like getting wound into this little line, and they want to get in there.
But then you don't want them to cut you either. It's so hard.
Yeah, we got to rent the park out.
This is major decisions here. Jeez.
So
that said,
so what is your favorite queue? If you had to say one favorite queue, would it be Roger Rabbit? What about you guys? While Connie thinks about that, favorite queue, Walt Disney World or Walt Disneyland?
Walt Disneyland?
Either one.
Oh.
Which is your favorite?
I think I'm gonna say I think we should pick one from Disneyland and one from Walt Disney World.
All right, pick one of each.
Okay, so oh no, not two of them are in Disneyland. Darn, I'm gonna need more time. 3.
Give me a couple. Like, give me your top 5.
Top 5.
In no particular order. Just give me like some of your favorite ones.
So Roger Rabbit, Space Mountain.
Which Space Mountain?
Disneyland, and I'm gonna have to say Indiana Jones Disneyland.
Indiana Jones one is pretty cool.
So amazing. How is it that park, that tiny little park, has some of the most amazing queues?
Because Walt Disney had something to do with it?
Well, Walt Disney didn't have anything to do with the attraction of Indiana Jones.
I don't know. Maybe he did. He had some writing somewhere, I'm convinced.
All right. Everest is amazing. Walt Disney World. I would, again, say Space Mountain, one of my favorites. That never gets old. Just walking in and hearing the sounds of the spacecraft. It's amazing.
Space Mountain has one of the best entrances and worst exits.
Why is it? No. It's the opposite. The queue at the exit. Talk about not wanting people to cut you in line. I want to take my time exiting. I'm the one that's taking pictures.
I know. You're the one stopped on the thing that's moving?
Yes.
Well, that's annoying.
I know it's annoying, but it's so much fun.
I don't mind if you stop.
Okay.
Just scooch over a little.
I can't do it.
Because, like, sometimes you've already been on that. And you just want to, like, I don't want to rush off, but I certainly don't want to wait while that moves me all the way to the end.
I am sorry. There should be 2 sides. There should be one side with the people that...
It's like in the airport, though. On that, you just move to the right.
Right, there's like the walk.
What movie is that? Stay to the right. That's in Goonies. Stay to the right.
It's walk, and then you're not supposed to walk on those people. You're supposed to let it glide you to your next destination. That's the point of them.
It's 4 miles. You're supposed to walk on it to get you out a little quicker.
It's supposed to glide and relax, and that's what I'm saying.
See, they agree with me. Just stay to the right. Think of Goonies.
And stay to the right.
Stay to the right. Don't go to the left.
I love it. I have so many pictures of this last vacation and inside Space Mountain. I think this time more than ever because we have talked about Space Mountain so many times, but just this last particular trip, I think, did they change things? It just made me really immersive this time. I love the Home of the Future and that whole
You're just getting old.
I am getting old.
So you're getting a little nostalgic there.
Why'd you have to go there?
I'm sorry. Listen, we're the same age, so if you get old, I get old.
That's true.
You know, it's not like it's much different.
That's fine.
I'm going to have to say, favorite queue, I like Everest. I think Everest is a pretty cool one.
Okay.
I'm
looking at everybody else's.
Big Thunder Mountain, believe it or not.
What?
Yeah, Big Thunder Mountain, once you get inside, is pretty cool.
Wait, only because you never want to seem to go on the attraction. I'm always the one that's begging you to go on.
I mean, Big Thunder Mountain, I like. It's not my favorite attraction in the world, but I like the queue. I think that you can get really good pictures at night. It's a good opportunity to, like, it's cozy enough, but it's not crowded.
Yeah.
And it's very well separated. Like, the lines are very defined.
They are defined.
I like that.
Okay.
And
I have
it's
pictures
not
of
like,
that, too.
And, like, once you get on Space Mountain and you're in the middle of Space Mountain when it's busy, I feel like I'm squished in there.
In Space Mountain?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't enjoy that part that much.
Okay, I'm sorry.
But I like Thunder Mountain. I like.
Justin says Muppet Vision 3D, so much to look at.
That is pretty cool. That is a good one.
Taylor says Tower of Terror.
I like the Great Movie Ride. That was a good one.
Why'd you have to bring that up?
Yeah. Nemo and Little Mermaid is super cool.
I was way more bummed than I thought I would be without... I knew it closed and I was fully, anticipating seeing it, whatever. I was so bummed.
Yeah. I'm still kind of bummed that closed.
So bummed. You guys, Hollywood, old Hollywood... It's like the best part of Hollywood Studios, and it's gone. Anyway, all right. Sorry.
That is the best part.
All right, I'm moving on. I don't want to bum anybody out.
I don't get the hype for Peter Pan ride, but the new queue is pretty awesome. I actually agree with that. I don't. Didn't we talk about that? Did we talk about that on the podcast or maybe in our Patreon group live show?
I don't know.
Where we talked about the hype for Peter Pan ride. Like you love the Peter Pan ride.
Nemo and Little Sorry, okay. I just wanted to say really quickly, Nemo. The whole underwater theme when you're going... Because that attraction seems to move. The queue on that, it's fast moving. Like, yeah. I never seem to...
Kind of like the People Mover.
It does. It moves fast, right? But it is pretty cool. It sets you up for a really cool scene, and you're underwater, and you're ready to go swimming. So that's pretty cool.
I agree.
And new queue for Peter Pan. Actually, Peter Pan in Walt Disney World, I didn't see a new queue.
Well, we had fast passes, so we skipped the whole queue.
Oh, that's why.
Well, you love that attraction.
Peter Pan is a must-do.
I like it. I don't love it. I'm not in love with it.
There's no negotiation between the family.
I know.
We just go do it.
You're right.
So, yeah.
But why is the line so long?
Because it's old school, Bruce.
Because you're floating in the air, like over the attraction rather than like in it? Is that what it is?
Oh my gosh. We're going to have to move on.
No, tell me what it is.
No, I'm not happy.
Somebody help me out. What is it?
What is it about the hype?
Yeah.
It's an original. It's a classic.
But why isn't Small World that busy?
Small World in Disneyland is.
Not necessarily.
I think you're wrong.
Am I?
I think so.
Or am I so right it just blew your mind?
I'm so right that we have to... Whoops! The camera fell. I don't know what happened. It's too bad that we didn't get to see the queue, the Peter Pan queue. I had no idea.
Yeah, we didn't get to see it.
We fast passed that. I'm sorry. That is one attraction where it's a must-do, but I have never waited that long to ride the attraction because it's a never-ending line.
It doesn't seem like it moves that much.
Not only that, but it reminds me, the one in Walt Disney World reminds me, so if you guys ever want to know what Disneyland feels like, it's that queue everywhere. Like, it's just so small and tiny. Man, people must have been way smaller back in the older days because everything is just super tiny and just kind of out there.
Yeah, I think it's obviously gotten busier as time went on.
Obviously.
But you're right. They probably were smaller back then.
Yeah.
At least they were small. They had to have been.
I don't know.
Because
I mean, I don't feel like I'm that big, but like, it's hard to move.
It is hard to
move. And have your own like little space while you're waiting for 90 minutes.
I think overall, if you had to choose Magic Kingdom or Disneyland for queues, who do you think has the better queue?
And so even with that, I think because I named like 4 already in Disneyland, I'm going to have to see Disneyland now.
Even though they're not very large and they out onto the walkway, like they spill it onto the walkway a lot.
See, once you're actually in, they're pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty... That's a tough one.
Yeah.
Because I think the Disney World does a good job of...
hiding the crowd.
Hiding the crowd. Making
like
the queues big enough to where you don't notice them.
Just try to talk more.
Yeah, I like that.
Answer your... Yeah. Okay. So...
But I like Peter Pan. I don't love it. It's not like it's not if I had to, not on my top 5. I don't think.
Changing the subject real quick.
Okay.
Ego is in Walt Disney World tonight.
Ego.
Do you know who that is?
That is the dad from Guardians of the Galaxy.
That is the Kurt Russell.
You love Kurt Russell.
I love Kurt. Who doesn't love Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn? I mean, they're like. Talk about nostalgic.
Are they still together?
I think so. Oh. I hope so.
Oh.
They're not married. That might be the key.
I think you're right.
I'm just kidding. No, but he is, and Kurt Russell himself, not Ego, but Kurt Russell he's in Epcot tonight. He's narrating in Epcot.
That is awesome.
That's all you have
He's
to say.
got a good voice.
He does. Yes, John. He is doing the candlelight processional. And for whatever reason, I tried to avoid saying that.
Candlelight processional?
I can't say it. Did I just say it?
I think you did.
I always feel like, what was it that Walt Disney couldn't say? Aluminum?
Aluminum.
That's me on a lot of words. Yet I have a podcast.
Well, we try to avoid those words.
Perfect. But yes, Kurt Russell, he's there. Gosh, I wish I was there tonight. Pretty cool. I know Whoopi Goldberg was there too, so that's pretty cool.
Tonight?
No, I forget when she was listed.
Oh, she was part of that candidate.
Yeah, and she was there December 1st to and 3rd. That's pretty cool. Some great names there. I would have loved to see Kurt Russell.
How many people does that seat?
Quite a bit.
Is it really?
Quite a bit. And a lot of people have asked, whether or not it's worth it. And John is so right. I'm good.
That's what I would say. The singing thingy?
The singing thingy? I basically said that. Yeah. Anyway, where was I going with that? Oh, a lot of people have asked us. I think it can be boring for certain age groups.
Singing thingy?
Certain people.
Is that me?
I don't know. No, for really young kids, I think they could get bored. But I think it is if they can.
What was I saying? I was saying we were watching. I think the Christmas parade was on TV, right? I'm going to say this.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is kind of boring.
Yeah.
Watching the parades in the Magic Kingdom are so good that when you go home and you watch it on TV, you're like, I don't really want to watch this.
Well, because it was all singing and dancing, and it's really hard to get that same feeling when you're home versus there.
They don't show you the experience enough. They just show you the singing.
Yeah.
It's like, which is fine. Like, the kids like it. You like it.
Yeah.
But I just want to see, I want to see the parade, and I want to see the people's faces and their reaction. I want to see the characters' interaction with the crowd.
Yeah.
That's what makes it exciting for me.
Yeah.
Not the singing part.
No, not the popular songs that are, remade into Christmas songs. That's kind of weird.
Doesn't do it for me.
Yeah, no, I know. Well, how did we get into that?
Because you talked about the singing thingy.
The singing thingy?
Yeah.
But yeah, so Kurt Russell is narrating, which I think is pretty awesome for those of you that are there or whatever. It's just pretty cool.
Does he sign autographs after, you think?
Well, I know that he was doing something beforehand.
That's awesome.
I know, which is really cool. But I'm for sure it was crowded. I wouldn't doubt that for a second.
If you like singing or enjoy singing, you have to go into the American Experience. And see them singing there. That's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
And I'm not a big singing fan, but it's pretty cool to see them sing in person there.
What did they say when we were there? And they asked everybody if anybody was from Florida. How'd they say it?
Oh, it was
we'll work on it.
Yeah, no, he said something like,
no,
anybody here from Florida? And everybody raised their hand like, this one's for you. And it was like, I'm dreaming of a white Christmas.
Oh, right.
And then he turned around and winked at everybody.
Everybody was laughing.
That was pretty good.
That was pretty good.
He did a good job at that. You could tell he's done that many times. Or he practiced it many times because he nailed it.
I think he's just good at what he does.
That's maybe true too.
Moving on.
The singing guys inside the thingamajigger.
Are we frozen?
I don't think so.
Okay. The singing thingamajigger. But back to the whole, I like the live streams. I like the live, Disney Parks Live. Yeah. I love those.
You do love those.
I love those. I think that what you're talking about is the Christmas special and the whole...
It's different. Like the Christmas, when they do the live streaming, they get the whole show. It's not produced.
Right. It's a little too, it's more organic.
It's...
almost like you're there because it's so real.
Yes, I think they do a good job of having the hosts be like us.
What? Justin?
What?
Stop. Chris Hemsworth. What?
Wow, that's crazy.
That is crazy. I didn't even know that. Okay, go ahead. You can talk about.
Bye, Megan. Has to head out. See you, Megan.
Bye, Megan.
I forget what I was saying now.
Something about...
Oh, when they do the live streams, I think they do a better job of showing that, making it feel like you're there.
Right.
And it's not just about, one song to the next song to the next song.
Wait a minute. Megan is going back to Hong Kong Disneyland tomorrow with her son. Oh, my gosh. Post pictures.
That's awesome.
That is so awesome.
Wait, I want to go to Disneyland. Hong Kong Disneyland. She gets to go back.
Right?
Jeez.
Megan, we want to be you.
I know.
But yeah, I agree with you.
So I think the Disney Parks Live does a good job.
I almost feel like they need,
they should just do that on TV.
They should just have us come and host and be like, all right, there's the parade. The walkie thingies. Here comes the walkie thingies and the toy soldier thingies.
That would get tons of views.
It would go viral. Okay. Sorry, we're getting way goofy.
All right, now it's time for the walking thingies with that white bearded guy.
It's 8:42. I'm getting super silly, and we should probably wrap it.
All right.
Well, the next thing I was going to talk about was some fashion, but we can skip that.
What do you mean? What's the fashion? What is that? Now you got me curious.
It's Snow White. It's the Saks Fifth New York display with Snow White. It's supposed to be pretty awesome.
What is it exactly?
I don't want to go into it.
Just say it now.
I feel like I'm going to bore you forever.
Just try it. All right, forget it.
Okay.
We'll talk about that tomorrow.
You were going to cut me off, weren't you?
I was going to cut you off.
I knew it.
I was going to pretend like I was sleeping. So.
Typical.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us tonight. Shorter show.
8:42.
Is that what time we always get off?
8:43 now.
Well, then it's the regular amount of time show.
Yeah.
And check out the podcast this week. What are we talking about this week on the podcast?
What we're talking about this week?
Yes.
It is going to be...
some restaurant reviews, I think.
Surprise.
Yeah. We don't know yet, actually. That's why. But check us out on the podcast this week. Last week we talked about Pandora. The week before that we talked about the Christmas party. And we will see you again next Monday night, right here, 8 p.m. Eastern on Facebook. Right?
That's right. That's where I go silent.
All right. Connie's going silent. That's what she does at the end of every podcast.
Every single one. I don't know why.
It just stops in your tracks and you don't know what to say.
You start to lull me to sleep a little. I'm sorry.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys.
Bye.